Waddle and Sylvie. Afternoons from 2 to 6 on ESPN Chicago.
Well, Baker Mayfield, here you go. Just the way you like it. Center stage, national TV, down 14-0, a minute 42 and a half. The loudest cheer of the night is happening right now, and number 6 is ready to go. Baker's got Duke Johnson on his left hip. 1st and 10. Mayfield's got it. Baker back. Baker looking. Baker loads. He throws. Landry got it. He's at the 45. He's at the 48-yard line. And that ball had a lot of mustard on it. Mayfield is in a pistol formation right now. And now he's running away from center. And the snap goes to Duke Johnson. Then they flip it around. Then they throw it, and Mayfield caught it! It's the Philly special, Cleveland style. I love it. And we're tied at 14. 3rd, and they're a yard away. Mayfield takes the snap, gives it. Hyde runs right. He's going in. Touchdown. And for the first time tonight, the Browns lead. And with great pride, I say, the Browns are in victory formation. Baker Mayfield takes a knee. Count it down, everybody. The Browns are winners tonight. And the drought is over. Led by the number 1 overall draft choice, Baker Mayfield. They come back and win over the Jets, 21-17. Hallelujah!
Taking the Browns to the Super Bowl.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
I felt good for Cleveland. I felt good for Baker Mayfield, too.
They've been very competitive. I mean, they were a compelling story on Hard Knocks. They've got some quality players. It was just a matter of whether or not they were going to hit on their quarterback. And 30 minutes into his career, everyone's happy.
Good, yeah. It's courtesy of ESPN 850 in Cleveland. That's where we did the show, right?
I think so.
For games 1, 2, 6, and 7.
Yes, it was the building that time had forgotten.
The mall.
Yes, the mall that time had forgotten. It was like it had the food court that we would have in our malls back in the 70s that are now closed.
It was only open for about 3 hours, the food court.
Right. The food court, and not only did it have old restaurants, but no one would visit it. We would walk in, and, no one would be there. And we're like, how? Time has forgotten
that.
The workers were always stunned that they had to fire up the grill because they were like,
what do you guys want? Why are you here? No, it was...
So a radio station inside a mall, if that wasn't weird enough, do you remember one of the other odd establishments?
There was a YMCA, there was a swimming pool inside the mall as well.
Inside the mall.
Yeah.
A YMCA inside the mall.
It was a really strange but cool kind of experience.
Yeah. The whole Cleveland thing was fun.
Oh, we had a great time. What was it? 4th Street as well was like...
5th or 4th?
Was it? Whatever it was. It's an area that had really undergone a transformation, and it was great.
Yeah, the downtown area was nice.
My buddy Kevin Ginley, who went to the World Series game with us, my buddy from Cleveland.
Yeah, sure.
Well, I mean, we never hear from Ginley on the text chain. He was all over it. Wanted some love from all of his...
Oh, last night?
Yes, all of his former college roommates. He thinks that we've forgotten Cleveland. Well, I was like, dude, you hadn't won a game in how long?
Yeah.
600 and something days.
I was like, I even...
By the way, did you see how bad that field was?
Yeah, it was ripped up.
Oh, my God.
It was ripped up. Was that because they had did they play the first game there? Is that where...
I sent him...
it was like really bad weather their first game, wasn't
they had a horrible
against
rainstorm.
the Steelers.
Yeah, and it got chewed up.
Yeah, so that's the reason.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know, but you look at that you should have a better field.
Well, that's why I'm surprised not every team has field turf. Like, that's why I've always thought,
well, especially
the Bears should have field turf.
In climates like that, it's one thing. If you want to have turf or natural grass, rather, in California or Arizona or Florida or Carolina, I get it. But I do agree with you. When you get into the climates where you get bad weather, then you would think that it may be better both for the quality of play and economically to have field turf, so you're not always having to resod the field. So, but it was fun to watch. Yeah, I mean, like you said, we're not naturally Cleveland Brown fans, but I still believe that it was something that it was a Thursday night game worth watching, and we haven't been able to say that.
And again, I mean, There's no guarantee that Baker Mayfield's going to be a stud. None. No guarantee that Mahomes will continue to be a stud, but you do like to see it.
Yeah.
And we want to see it more for Mitch.
Well, the rules have changed in such a way that it really plays into the hands of the quarterbacks and the offense in general. So no surprise that you will see, I think, a lot of high-scoring games.
All right, let's talk to an all-time great Bear and an all-time great guy. He was the Walter Payton Man of the Year. And he continues to give back with his Cornerstone Foundation. He's got a couple of charity events coming up to raise money for kids here. And this one is coming up on September 25th, which is this Tuesday. And it's Whirly Ball. We've done a show from Whirly Ball before. A night of Whirly Ball with Charles Tillman. Whirly Ball, Chicago, 1825 West Webster, right here in the city. Go to his foundation, charlestillman.org, to get tickets or to learn how to contribute money. And, you know, it's one thing these players give back when they play, and it's another thing we love to see it. Where guys who weren't, and I know Charles was born here, but who then they create roots here, they stay here, and it's awesome to see.
Nobody's given back more to the community than Charles.
Peanut Tillman joining us, Waddle and Sylvia on ESPN 1000. Peanut, how have you been?
I've been well. How you guys doing?
We're doing fantastic. Are you looking forward to Tuesday?
I am. This is I've never done an event like this before. You know, it's my version of a triathlon. I'd rather play whirly ball, bowl, and some laser tag, you know, versus than running, swimming, and biking. This one is a little more fun.
We saw you in Canton from a distance, and you still look like you're in great shape.
Yeah.
Do you still stay active, running and doing different things, or is it limited to whirly ball and stuff like this?
I am still pretty active. You know, as they say, well, I stay ready so I don't have to get ready.
Right.
So if they should need me on defense, I think I could play a game. But the way our defense is, the way this defense is playing, they don't need me at all.
Yeah, we had Brian Urlacher on, of course, the other day after he was honored, and he was even saying that, you know, and your defense was so great, you guys took the ball away just like they're doing. But like Brian was in awe of the pass rush. What did you make of what you saw from that defense in whole?
I would say the same thing. I was in awe. The amazing thing about what this team has done really thus far is they've responded well to Khalil Mack coming in. Yeah. And I said it once, I'll say it again. I think Khalil Mack he's like that LeBron James kind of a player, meaning LeBron can go to a bad team and make everybody else good just with his presence. And you know, for the most part, the defense has stayed the same, and then you bring in Khalil Mack, and it all of a sudden elevates everybody else's play. Everybody else is playing good now, and I think that's pretty obvious and why we know Khalil Mack. But they're playing well. The pass rush is there. I like what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I was going to say, from a cornerback's perspective, I mean, how beneficial is it? I mean, you had some good pass rushers when you played as well. But how much easier does it make your job when you know that quarterback has to get rid of it quicker? He's going down.
Makes it a lot easier. You know, Coach Marinelli used to always say, you know, the pass rush and the secondary, you guys go hand in hand. It's like a marriage. You know, if I got a great D-line, that allows me as a DB to take more chances. And at the same time, when I'm in the backfield and, you know, let's say they max protect, well, I have to do my job to buy more time for my guys up front to get to that quarterback. So both positions, you know, they mirror each other in the sense of you need one, and you can't have one without the other.
Well, I know you've been retired for a few years now, but even now, 2 or 3 years after, do you ever sit and watch a game on Sunday and really yearn to be back out there and miss it?
Oh, yeah. You always miss it. I'll always miss it. A couple years, 10 years, 15 years, yeah, I'm sure I'll always like, man, I wish I could get up there for one more snap. I think that's just who we are as competitors, as former athletes. You know, we all like competition, and when you go and you play at the highest level and you're not competing in that level anymore, yeah, you'll miss it. Yeah. You'll miss it.
When you get back together with some of the old teammates, is it like you guys had never left?
like we never left. You talk, you crack jokes, you reminisce, you talk about some games. Kind of like if you were to have a high school reunion. You know, hey, you remember that one time in so-and-so's class we did this and that? You laugh. So, yeah, it's you look at each other's families, how big are your kids. It's the usual stuff. But, yeah, it's definitely always good to get back with the guys whenever we're all in one big group.
We said to Brian, and we had Brian on several times leading up to the Hall of Fame, and Waddle said it to him just recently, like how proud, we are and Waddle is of Brian, the way he really came across at the Hall of Fame, speaking in front of Soldier Field. He was never a guy who felt really comfortable as a player, Peanut, when he grabbed the microphone, but he's really comfortable, it seems now. What was your thoughts watching him, the way he conducted himself with the speech in Canton and then again here at Soldier?
I was proud of him, just like you guys. For me, I was excited for him. I've seen the Hall of Fame speeches before, but this one was a little bit more personal because I know him and I played with this guy, and to be there and watch him get in that ceremony. And his speech was about the team and how he wanted to be remembered as a great teammate. And with all his success and everything that he's accomplished, he didn't do it alone. Like, his teammates made him better, which he could have done it all alone because he was just a freak of an athlete. But I liked his message, and what I will remember Brian Urlacher for most of all, other than being one of the best to ever play that position, is him being a great teammate. With all his notoriety and success and fame and celebrity, you could walk into a room, and if you really know Lack, he is so chill, he's so quiet, he's so humble, he's to himself, but he'll make you feel like you're the star. And I think that's something that I've always appreciated about him.
Charles, when you saw him with his hair, what was the first thought that went through your mind?
What the? This is when you play the beep. Yeah, it was one of the. Yeah, it was like a WTF moment.
Yeah. Hey, we've all bemoaned the changes, the rule changes in the league, and how it's made you guys as defensive players. It's made your job so much harder. I mean, elaborate on how you feel about it.
Okay, so let's talk about the sack, not falling on the quarterback. We might as well just run by the quarterback and put a red shirt on him or a red jersey on him for what we're doing. The Clay Matthews play, was it last week?
Yeah.
When he hit the guy, I don't know how you're supposed to fall on a quarterback or tackle a quarterback. I don't get it. And it's clear, it's pretty blatant obvious when you got guys targeting. The one he hit another quarterback on, you hit him in the head. Yeah, fine him, penalty. That's a good one. Another guy hit Cam Newton. He dove, targeting. Yeah, he got ejected. Yeah, all those are fair and all those are good calls. But when you have a guy tackle him, I have to tackle him, but I can't land on him. Come on, man. He is a player too. He is a player too. He is a professional. He gets paid the most. He gets protected the most. Put a red jersey on him. It's not fair. And looking at the scores, man, these it's just like, God, dog. It's hard to play good defense when you can't hit the quarterback. And I don't know, man. It seems as if the NFL, they're trying to sell more tickets with how they're making these rules because the rules benefit the offense so much.
How about the helmet-to-helmet stuff as well as a defensive back? I mean, it seems
define it.
Yeah.
Define it. I don't even know how you define it. If a running back comes out of the backfield and he gets in the ball to brace as we hit him, I'm not saying leading with. I don't even know what that damn rule means. I don't even think they know what it means. It's crazy.
Yeah.
There's frustration because you hear it in my voice.
Yeah. Right.
I still love watching the game. I still love the NFL. I think they're just trying to cover their with suits and CTE and everything else. I get it. Trust me, I get it. But at the end of the day, it is a contact sport. You can't get around that.
Yeah, even
you know?
Aaron Rodgers.
You can only do so much.
Right. Rodgers and Flacco both said this week, this isn't the way we want it to be either as quarterbacks. We want to be hit.
Yeah.
You know? So.
Yeah. I don't think they want to be hit.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I think they realize how protected and how frustrating it is for players. And I agree. There is no place, there is no room, there is nowhere for the cheap shotting and the targeting and just going for your help. Like there's no room for that in this league. I think we can all agree with that. Every player across the league, yeah, we can all agree for that. But let me rephrase that. How they're calling the game and the rule changes, you gotta stop. You gotta balance it up a little bit. You know, help out the defense. We're already playing with the rules stacked against us. Now you just keep stacking it against us. Like, come on, man. That's like I'm playing with a ball and a chain.
Yeah. Peanut Tillman joining us. It's Waddle and Sylvie on ESPN 1000. When we're sitting in Canton, we're talking about, hey, who's the next Bear to get in? Your stats are unbelievable, and what you brought to the table with the takeaways, I think you scored 9 touchdowns, Waddle was telling me.
I said, Peanut and I have one thing in common. We both scored 9 touchdowns.
And Waddle's a wide receiver.
There you go.
Yeah. And, like, the takeaways are crazy. And, like, there aren't many players who have a move named after them, and you have the Peanut Punch that whenever you see it, I saw yesterday in the Cleveland game, their young corner Ward make a strip, and I'm like, that's a play that Peanut made. Have you candidly ever thought about yourself getting inducted into the Hall of Fame?
I think when Brian brought it up, he's done a couple of interviews, and he'll throw my name out, it's pretty cool, but I'll just wait my turn and see. But more than anything, I'm looking forward to seeing Olin Kreutz, Devin Hester, Lance Briggs. I think that'd be pretty sweet if those guys got in.
We've always been advocates, certainly, of Devin getting in. Some pushback because he was a quote-unquote special teamer, but nobody did it better than Devin Hester. Do you believe strongly that he'll get in?
Oh, yeah, wholeheartedly, without a doubt. Just like I believe in Santa Claus. He will get in.
Very good.
He will get in. He will definitely. How could you not vote him in?
Yeah, I'm with you.
How could you not? Like, what is your case? He's a special teams player.
Well,
so what?
Yeah.
So what?
People tell us, and we're pro Hester getting in, because I believe every time he lined up back there for a punt or kickoff, the entire play was designed differently. Like, whether people kicked it out of bounds and you guys gained an extra 15 yards because they didn't punt it far, whether he gained 20 yards on a punt return or ran it back for touchdowns. Some say to us, well, he only had 20 touchdowns total. Who gets into the Hall of Fame if you only have 20 touchdowns? That's what they say to us.
The man changed the game.
Yeah.
The man changed how kickers kick to him. You know what I'm saying? He is so good. Green Bay Packer fans are like, damn, he needs to be in the Hall of Fame. Like, that's how good he is.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know how you don't vote the guy in.
I was going to say, you guys are a very tight-knit group. You guys, former teammates. Do you expect some of the guys to be at your event next Tuesday as well?
Oh, yeah. The guys that are in town, I most definitely expect them to be at the event. You know, we try to support each other and help each other out when we have some type of a charitable event. And for my entire career, I've had tremendous support from my, I don't even want to call them teammates, just from my friends.
How about how the city has embraced your foundation? I mean, you have this one here on Tuesday. You have one coming up in November. And you continue to give back. And I know how important it is to raise money for kids who really, really need it. And the way Chicago has sort of helped in doing so.
Well, I look at it like this. You know, my daughter received a heart transplant. And the way she got that heart, I didn't know this lady. I didn't know anything about them. But this person, this stranger, someone I didn't know, blessed me with my daughter to continue living. And for what she's done and blessed me. We have this foundation. We raise money. We give it to these families. I in return, try to bless those families. But none of this would have happened without this woman, Magali, without her making that decision to bless us. So with every person I bless, it's a direct effect blessing that she has called us. So it's just that whole cycle of giving. And every time I give, it's a direct effect because of her. And it's a good thing, man. And if you've never, for anyone listening, I challenge you to help a complete stranger. And I'm not talking about just giving them money, but just like help them, whatever you can do and help them or try to bless them, just a complete stranger, someone you don't even know anything about. It is some of the best stuff you can ever do. It's one of the best feelings you will ever have. And when you do it and you expect nothing in return, oh man, it's amazing. It truly is.
Your resume is filled with so many tremendous achievements, but when I read Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year in 2013, that's the one that sticks out most to me for the reasons you just mentioned.
Yeah, that was a great night. I cried a lot that night.
Yeah.
All right, so charlestillman.org, Whirly Ball with Charles Tillman, the Cornerstone Foundation, coming up. Whirly Ball in Chicago, 1825 West Webster Avenue. Everyone can go there, raise great money, and like Peanut said, help out other people. Just random acts of kindness to a stranger. Peanut, it was great catching up. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for giving back, too.
Thanks, Charles.
Oh, man, no worries. Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
You too. There's Peanut Tillman. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Football, off the field, roots here in Chicago. Really, really good.
He's done so much for the community.
Really quick, What to Watch For is brought to you by Swift & Sons, America's Steakhouse. Right here in the West Loop in the Fulton Market District, the Boca Restaurant Group. Going to roll out the red carpet for you. Awesome steaks, great seafood. And if you're going to the United Center for the Laver Cup, before or after,
yes,
get dinner, lunch, whatever. Hawk season has already begun. Bull season will be starting shortly. Go to Swift & Sons, American Steakhouse.
I got something for you to watch this weekend.
What is that?
The Tour Championship, where Tiger Woods, currently at 8 under par, has a 2-stroke lead over Justin Rose. He's through 15 in his second round. This is known as the fifth major to all golf fans. You don't get any wine if he wins because this is not officially a major, but this is like the fifth most important event on tour to a lot of people who follow the tour. So Tiger Woods is having a whale of a start to this important tournament.
Of all the football games, besides the Bears game, I think noon on Sunday, because remember, Bears are 325, 49ers Chiefs. It's going to be a fun game to watch. High scoring, Jimmy G against Pat Mahomes. Let's get it on.
Okay.
I'm watching for football.
All right. You're talking football, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
What do you got, Meller?
All right, well, I will be watching Monday Night Football as we have the drama-filled Pittsburgh Steelers going to Tampa as they try to quash
I was expecting an EPL game early Saturday
Fitzmagic.
morning.
Now, you know what? The slate's not that intriguing this weekend, so it's not must-see TV.
And Felix, do you have one that you want to?
Yes, I will be catching up on my show that I watch. I watch Shameless on Showtime. They're the third
filmed
episode.
Here, right?
Yep, filmed here in Chicago, and they just got news that one of the lead actress, Emmy Rossum, won't be on the show moving forward. I personally feel it's the last season, so we'll see how it goes.
They were filming I was walking from the Hyatt yesterday. They were filming an episode of Chicago PD or something, Chicago Fire, something like that around here.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's nothing to do with Shameless.
No, I know, but he said it was. You said it was filmed
Chicago
here in
Med.
Chicago,
Yeah,
right? Is it filmed here at Shameless?
Yes, it is.
Chicago?
South side of Chicago.
There's all kinds of there's been all kinds of production trucks here for the last week and a half.
Did you try to photobomb?
No, that's not my thing. No.
Tell us about the postgame show.
Yeah, Sunday, Bears go for back-to-back wins as they take on the 0-2 Cardinals after the game. Time to join the fun that is the Football After Show on NBC Sports Chicago with Matt Forte, Lance Briggs, and Alex Brown. They were pretty happy about the win over the Seahawks on Monday night. And they're telling you now, don't miss the Football After Show this week, presented by Buffalo Wild Wings after every Bears game, only on NBC Sports Chicago.
Chad Millman will join us next. We'll go over the whole slate of NFL action and get you some gambling tips. Like it, love it. Also this hour, it's Waddle and Sylvie on ESPN 1000.
When Waddle and Sylvie need gambling advice, they turn to one guy.
Waddle?
No, Chad Millman, the Action Sports Network.
I'm just saying, it feels like a lazy pick.
A man who spends all his available free time with seedy underworld characters.
Charlie, they took my thumb, man.
He calls them sharps.
They took my thumb, Charlie!
We call them degenerates. Highland Park's own Chad Millman.
That's right, Chad Millman from the Action Network. I love what it says, too, on his Twitter profile. Trying to make stuff that makes the sports fan smarter. So let's do that right now. Make us smarter, Chad. How you feeling today?
I'm feeling really, really good, and I'm feeling indebted to Tom Waddle.
All right, let's a quick recap. I said Bears would cover the 3.5 at home against the Seahawks. You said no way. I said yes way. I win a bottle of wine from you. Now, because this is the kind of guy I am, I'm willing to go double or nothing. I get the Bears, and I'll give you, what's the line, 5?
It's 6, I believe. Let me check the Action Network app, and I will tell you exactly what it is. But what I love about you, Waddle, is, like, I was going to over-deliver. I was going to get you. It's the Bears are favored by 5. They are getting about 58% of the money, and they are getting 75% of the bets. I will tell you, I love the Cardinals in this game.
Oh, yes!
And hold on, before we get there, I was going to send you a whole case of Connecticut's finest wine.
Whoa!
As soon as you told me what varietals you and your bride enjoyed the most, so I could send something that the whole family could enjoy. I'm willing to go double or nothing.
Chad, do you know that he was belly aching off the air that the wine hadn't even gotten here yet?
Well, because I knew I was going to be on the air, and I didn't know what flavor he liked. Yeah. And so I wanted to, find out which one he really liked the best. I don't want to send him something that he's just going to dump down the sink.
Right. Well, let's not even talk about what I like until I take 2 cases from you after the Bears put, a 17-point victory on the Cardinals.
All right, well, let's do it. I'll take the Cardinals plus 5. That's what it's at right now.
Okay.
So Chad, here's a team this is what Waddle and I are. And I think I'm coming around more to you guys and the experts that we listen to. But it's still tough for me to pick a Cardinals team that has scored only 6 points all year. And I know it's a lot of points on the road for a team that we still don't know exactly who the Bears are. But how does it compute to you to really like a Cardinals team?
You hold your nose and you bet it. It's the same reason why I bet the Cardinals, plus 13 last week, and the Bills plus 7.5 last week. You look at you go with your philosophy. My philosophy is to bet against teams that are getting the majority of the action when they are big road favorites. And I don't think this Bears team has proven yet that they can go on the road as a big road favorite and win. And despite everything the Cardinals have done wrong, I do think that it's the NFL, and I do think that teams make adjustments, and I do think they have an incredible running back and talent in David Johnson. I do think their defense is underperforming against their previous performances in other seasons. And so there's only improvement here for the Cardinals, and I feel like there's potentially regression for the Bears. And I feel like the Bears, specifically, obviously, we all watch them more closely than we watch other teams, but, the Bears to me are a team that they just as easily could have lost that game, right? There's a couple plays that Russell Wilson doesn't make that all of a sudden this game is a different conversation. So I just don't buy the Bears as this big a favorite. I buy they're a favorite. I don't they should be a 3-point favorite, a 2.5-point favorite. I don't think there should be this much of an adjustment in the line.
All right, we have a wager. Based on the way that you feel about certain things, then, my guess is you're going to hold your nose and you're going to put money on Buffalo, who happens to be a 16.5 or a 17-point underdog, right?
I will not do it. This is one where I want you to forget everything I just said and just know that I'm going to pass. I just can't do it. I know it's the right side. I know it's what I'm supposed to do. But in this situation, and look, it's shame on me, right? Because you either believe in these theories or you don't, and I do. And when you don't make those decisions, those appropriate decisions, and bet on those theories, that's when you start to lose out on opportunities, right? It's like when you're at the craps table and you keep rolling, and then you turn your eyes for 1 second and miss the roll that wins the entire table. I know I'm potentially going to miss out here, but I'm really nervous about this Bills team. You know what? I changed my mind. I'll put a little taste on it. It's not going to be one of my big games. A little taste.
All right, little taste. I like that. You talked yourself into it.
Yes.
I think one of them, and we're talking to Chad Millman, the Action Network. Awesome place that you should go. The app is fantastic. The website is great. So all the latest on all the gambling stories you need to know about. Green Bay in D.C., I think, is an interesting one. The Packers are a road favorite with a gimpy Aaron Rodgers. How do you see this one?
Don't like the Packers here. And this is a great one, right? Like, this is something that we show in the app all the time. We have the majority of the tickets, meaning the public, is coming in on the Packers, and this line opened at 3. And even though all this action, all these people are coming on the Packers, the majority of the money is on the Redskins. And when you see that, that means that the professional bettors are coming in on Washington. So you've seen the line move to 2.5 in the direction of the Redskins. So you're not getting the best of the line anymore. But I do like the Redskins in this spot. Look, their defense has been amazing this year. Granted, they haven't played the best teams in the world, but their defense has been really good. And I do think Alex Smith is one of those guys, like you get him in a situation where he can play against a team like the Packers whose defense is struggling. I do think he can light it up.
What do you think about the Colts and Eagles game? Carson Wentz comes back, a bunch of injuries in their backfield, and yet they still are about a touchdown favorite in this game.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I loved the Colts at +6 when this opened, and I thought Nick Foles was going to be playing. Carson Wentz changes the calculus a little bit. I think he's probably worth another 2 points against the point spread. You know, by the end of last year, by the time they got to the Super Bowl, you know, there was so much public sentiment for what Nick Foles was doing. There really wasn't a difference in how they were rated as far as the point spread is concerned. But Nick Foles has been so bad in preseason and then so bad in the first 2 games that you do get, I think, a little attendant lift. So right now, I think the line is probably in the right spot. I do like the Colts a lot, but I don't have enough information to be comfortable betting against the Eagles in this spot.
Would this be a good spot for like a first half under? Because Wentz may be a little bit rusty and he doesn't have his backfield?
Waddle, I've never been so proud as I am right now listening to you ask if this is a good spot for a first half under. Like, you just won yourself another case of wine. That's how excited I am for you. I don't. You know what? That's a great point. I think Andrew Luck is amazing, and I feel like he can light it up anytime he wants to. And so, with Carson Wentz coming back, also, like, you could say to yourself, it's a great spot for a first half under because he could be rusty. I also wouldn't put it past Doug Peterson to have him throw long on like the first play of every drive in the first half just to get him comfortable and in the rhythm again. So, like, I don't know that I want any part of this game.
All right. Let's talk about the jealous game for Bears fans. That's what I'm dubbing San Francisco at Kansas City, as Bears fans watch Jimmy G for San Francisco and Pat Mahomes for Kansas City. And we all say, oh, no, why didn't we have those guys quarterbacking our team? Who do you like in this one? 2 interesting teams.
Very interesting teams. A huge total in this game. The line is, I think, it was like trending towards 55.
Yes.
So, like, I think I like the Niners to cover in this game. The line right now, I'm just checking here. The line right now is at 6.5. It opened at 5.5. I think there's some irrational exuberance on the part of the Chiefs. I think that their defense is so bad, it's going to be hard for them to keep Jimmy Garoppolo from scoring. You've seen him do, like, I watched that first game against the Vikings. It seemed like he had the ball with a chance to put his team in a position to win practically every series in the second half. Yeah. And obviously against the Lions, he lit it up. This total right now is at 55. I just like the Niners here. I don't think the Chiefs' defense is good enough to keep the back door closed when they're up, say, 10 in, the middle of the fourth quarter.
Do you have a feeling on the Patriots-Lions game? Patriots are in Detroit. Obviously, they know what Matt Patricia likes to do defensively.
Look, this is another hold your nose, right?
Yeah.
Because we've talked about this before. We've got like 85% of the tickets are coming in on New England. They are a 7-point road favorite, which is not an easy number to beat when you're on the road. Like, of course I want to bet the Lions in this game, but as my buddy Bob Scucci says, you don't make money betting against Bill Belichick. However, I did make money betting against Bill Belichick last weekend because I had the Jags +2. In this case, I don't trust it because I think he knows so much more about what Matt Patricia wants to do than even Matt Patricia knows. And the Lions, to me, are not a team that I want to be relying on. So, again, like most professional bettors will see a number, bet that number, and not look twice. I am not most professional bettors.
All right, before we get a college pick or two, how about the Monday Nighter, Pittsburgh and Tampa?
Oh, God. What are you going to do with this, right?
It's crazy.
Like,
I mean, what about the storm that Pittsburgh is going through right now?
I know. It's like you got the Buccaneers who, like, it's like, remember, this is back in Waddle's day. It's like Don Majkowski.
Yeah.
You know, with Ryan Fitzpatrick here. He's just unbelievable. And so how do you bet against that? And that's the way the line has moved, too. And the Steelers are such a train wreck right now. Look, I love the Steelers. I actually, in a pool with buddies, I picked the Steelers to win the Super Bowl. And I'm kind of regretting that right now because I had a choice between the Steelers and the Chiefs, and I chose the Steelers. And I don't know what to think of this game. I can't give you any real cogent analysis on this where I could say I'm going to be comfortable on one side or the other. I'm just going to watch it and hope there's some fireworks.
That's what we call steer clear. Do you have a favorite college game?
Call me crazy. I love Mississippi State -10 against Kentucky in Lexington. I think this Mississippi State team is unbelievable. And if they had a helmet that looked like Ohio State's or Florida's, then we'd be talking about a team that's a top 5 team because that's what all the stats and metrics suggest. So give me a team where we had them power rated at Action Network as a 13.5-point favorite. The books opened it at 10. The only thing I can think about is that they're shading a little bit, for home field for Kentucky, and also because Kentucky's had a good start to the season, and maybe because Mississippi State is going against their old coach and Dan Mullen in Florida the following week. But I like the Bulldogs here.
Awesome. Chad, great stuff. Always appreciate the time. The Action Network is worth all of our listeners' time. Sign up for that. And, Chad, we look forward to the conversation and hopefully more wine coming Waddle's way next week. Thanks.
Go Cardinals.
No, you
Go
can't,
Bears!
You can't say that on our show. See you, Chad.
Thanks, buddy.
See you guys.
There you go. There's Chad Millman. And our picks coming up next. Like it, love it, steer clear of it. And 3 of us are really on a roll these days.
I would say so.
We'll get to our picks coming up next. It's Waddle and Sylvie on ESPN 1000.
This is Waddle and Sylvie on ESPN Chicago.
I steer clear of it. I love it. I want some more of it.
And we love it. We love the segment. It's brought to you by Hawthorne Racecourse.
Giddy up.
Watch and wager. That should be their motto.
Giddy up.
It's pretty good, Waddle. You're a genius. Watch and wager on Hawthorne Racecourses under the lights all summer long. Visit any Chicagoland OTB. When you can't make it to the track, for more info, visit HawthorneRacecourse.com. Meller, you are perfect, my friend.
Yes, sir.
Give
no
us the
surprise.
standings.
All right, gentlemen.
Just so Mellerish.
They were out very early Tuesday, the standings
Yes,
updated.
they were.
Jeff Meller with 6 points, 4-0. Mark Silverman, a.k.a. Marco, has 5 points after being 3-1, hitting last week on his love. He loved the Jags, and he liked the Giants. Waddle, 4 points. You're 3-1. You hit your like last week. You liked the Bears, -3.5. You loved the Giants. And Adam Abdallah is 1-3 with 2
He
points.
sucks at picking games.
You could just cut off the part that says
He sucks.
picking games.
Yeah, he said go over 70.5 in the Alabama Ole Miss game. That was wrong.
You know how many? I think he only needed like 14 points in the second half.
Yeah, and I think they did 69, right?
Yeah,
I think
they did 69.
Nice.
Yeah, that's true. They had like 70 or what was it
In the
like,
first half, it was absurd.
Yeah, it was like crazy. All he had to do was score 2 touchdowns in the second half.
All right, Waddle, what do you have? What's your like?
My like is the San Francisco 49ers on the road in Kansas City. Listen, I'm impressed by what I've seen from Patrick Mahomes. That Kansas City defense can't stop a fart, as I like to say. So I think Jimmy G, at the very least, is going to orchestrate a backdoor cover. Maybe they will win, but I like the San Francisco 49ers +7.
All right, I like, believe it or not, the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't believe in the Bucs. I don't believe in Fitzmagic. Sorry, it's going to go poof.
You love some chaos,
I know it's chaos, but they're due. The Pittsburgh Steelers are due.
They're due.
They are due. They are due DUE, and they're a 1.5-point favorite. This would have been like a 4-point favorite a couple weeks ago. So I like the Pittsburgh Steelers in Tampa.
I kind of like where your head's at, Sylvia, on that one. But I'm going to go with the New Orleans Saints. They're playing the Falcons at the Mercedes-Benz Dome. They're getting 3 points, and I think without Deion Jones, without Keanu Neal, I think the Atlanta Falcons defense is there for the taking. I think the Saints cover 3, and I think they win outright.
I don't know who the Saints are anymore. I know that Todd Furman likes the Saints this week as well. What did
that's
pick?
in Atlanta, though.
No, you're right. And the Saints are getting 3 points.
Yeah. They don't call. Do they call their building the Mercedes? I thought that's where the Saints play.
Oh, I'm sorry. You are correct, Sylvia.
This is in Atlanta.
Yes. My mistake.
It's not the Georgia Dome either anymore. It's a new building.
A new place.
Yeah, I'm sorry. My bad. And Abdallah's I have it right here. Waiting for the email to work. Sorry. Bear with me. Waiting.
No, you're the winner.
You're the winner. They don't matter anyway.
Yeah.
Give us your love, then.
My love is, I've been saying it all week. I love the Bears. I don't care what the number is. I guess on Bovada, which is our official line, it's 6. I see it at 5 everywhere else, but I don't care because I have the Bears winning 27-10. I love the Bears going to the desert, a place I like to call Chicago West.
Yes.
Where the mayor of the area is not going to be there. He'll be in his house.
Rooting on the Bears.
Look, I don't believe in the Cardinals. I love the Bears.
My love is the Skins. They are a home dog to the Packers. The Packers are going to stumble one of these games with an injured knee with Aaron Rodgers. They tied last week. They should have lost to the Bears. They're going to lose this weekend in Washington. I love the Skins. Fine.
My love, gentlemen, this is crazy. This is too big. This is 17 points. The Minnesota Vikings are hosting the atrocious Buffalo Bills. And I'm still going to lay the points just like I did last week and won. I love the Minnesota Vikings. The Bills are awful. I'm going to lay 17 points. I love it.
All right, what are you steering clear of, Waddle?
I'm steering clear of that game because it's too big a number. The Mellor just talked about.
I'm steering clear of your Kansas City, San Francisco. I'm not sure about that one.
Yeah, I'll take 7 points.
Wads, if you're scared, go buy a dog. And I say steer clear of Adam Abdallah's picks. Here they are for you. He likes the Eagles. They're -7. He loves TCU -3. Of course, he's 1-3 on the year. Steer clear of those picks.
Wow, the Eagles with no skill guys whatsoever, and a quarterback just coming back from a major knee injury.
Super Bowl champs.
I know, but that's a steer clear type of game, don't you think?
I agree. I wouldn't play that.
All right, there you go. Like it, love it. Brought to you by our friends at Hawthorne Racecourse. We'll give you the latest on our thoughts on the Bears. JD with a really interesting tweet about Mitch Trubisky and Bears fans. I want to read you that coming up next. And
what's going on in there?
It's Waddle and Sylvia on ESPN 1000.